Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Pop Anime Comics here from PopAnimeComics.com and the Pop Anime Comics Lounge podcast. And my Instagram is Pop Anime Comics. As many people know, I love posting up my collectibles there, primarily comic books and Pop Funkos. I also talk about Pokemon cards here on YouTube, Magic cards. I'm a big Hot Wheels collector, so I like breaking down the economic side of things. And so I figured it's about time, as I mentioned in episode 1, that I broke down Pop Funkos. And my goal here, there's no affiliate links yet in these videos, anything like that. I'm not making any money from them. But what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to educate, break down prices, and kind of give my thought process of where I think things are going and what things are going to be worth. And hopefully you'll pick up on trends, and so that when you go to a con or you're looking for that next Pop Funko, you have an idea of what to look at so you're not going to get swindled too hard. And so I figured I would still stick with New York Comic Con 2017 Fall Convention exclusive with the Sailor Moon Sailor V New York Comic Con 2017 Pop Funko. So it's interesting. So obviously Sailor V is kind of a prequel to Sailor Moon. Kind of happens a little bit before, kind of crosses paths. It's a weird manga. It's a weird thing in Japan. It crosses into it. It's almost a prequel, but it's its own little thing. But it's part of the Sailor Moon family nonetheless. And Sailor V kind of winds up becoming Sailor Venus. And there's a whole skew of things that occur. But it's part of the Sailor Moon family. Is all the backstory you need to know about it. If you're new to Sailor Moon, you don't need to know about Sailor V in order to understand it. And if you're out to get a Sailor Moon collection, obviously this needs to be in your collection. Now, this was picked up at Hot Topic in a shared convention exclusive. It was also at New York Comic Con. And it goes for $15. So, this one, unlike the Bogart Snape, it hasn't really appreciated in value. The low I've seen for like $13 in the last 30 days. The high I've seen for like $16, and its estimated value is $15. And I think part of the reason why that is, at least from my understanding, is it really isn't sought after. I've seen this around for about 6 months after in Hot Topic. I've seen it go for almost no money on eBay. I've seen it really not move. And I think part of the reason for that is because nobody really knows Sailor V. Nobody really understands Sailor V. It's not a big thing. It's not instrumental to understanding Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon obviously had a big revival, and Sailor V just kind of was out in the background. Really wasn't pushed, wasn't done in an OVA as far as anime. And OVA is an original video animation, which is typically straight to DVD, Blu-ray, or stream now. There was really no push for it. So when this thing came out, it was like, oh, this is Sailor Moon. It says it right on the top, but it's Sailor V. What is Sailor V? And so that's why I think this thing isn't worth much, and it's not really appreciating in value because the real Sailor Moon fans want it. They'll pick it up. They'll enjoy it. They'll display it. I'm an anime fan, so naturally I'm inclined to anime. I tend to like anime history. I tend to like classics, both Dragon Ball Z, which at some point we will talk about that collection that I have, along with other animes and other things. So that's why I have it, as just a fan of Sailor Moon and traditional anime and the revival of that and doing it in the Japanese way. But I think that nobody really knows what the hell Sailor V is. And so people gravitate towards what they enjoy, what they like, and this just wasn't there. And so I think that's ultimately why this thing hasn't really gone up, and its value is estimated at $15. It's not really worth a hell of a lot considering that you paid $15 for it. So it hasn't really appreciated, and I don't foresee it to appreciate. And we're a year out. There are other Pop Funkos that dealt with Sailor Moon that are a lot cooler than this one. And not saying I don't love my Sailor V here, but I just think that nobody knows what Sailor V is. And I don't think it's that cool of a Pop Funko either. And there's no real desire for it. And there's just not a demand for it because it's kind of an offshoot of Sailor Moon that has no major impact on it. And I think that's where we're going with it. And so just to talk about this, when you go Pop Funko collecting, sometimes certain things are just offshoots of other things, and there's just no market for them. And I think this is a really, really good example of that, where maybe once in a while it'll have a runaway. It should have had a runaway. It's got the Sailor Moon name on it, but I think that it just nobody knows what it is, and it's a prequel to it, and then it has very little impact into it, and that's a rat. I don't think it's a bad Pop Funko, but also if you look at the New York Comic Con, Pop Funko is obviously the Snape one, and I'm going to refer to other episodes. That has more of name recognition than Sailor V does, and so I mean, if you go and say, "Hey," to 10 people, everybody knows what Sailor Moon is as an anime fan, and people who are non-anime fans recognize it. But no, everybody knows who Sailor Moon is. Everybody knows kind of the five Sailor Scouts. If you're an anime fan, you have some idea who they are, but you don't have an idea who Sailor V is. And I'm beating a dead horse because I think that's crucial to get the point across. Where I think it's extremely important to understand that what sells in Pop Funkos is either it has massive exclusivity, which this does to some degree. I mean, it's a New York Comic Con exclusive, so it has that working for it. And that's probably why its value is at 15, to be honest. And it might go up $1 or $2 every year just because it's further and further out now, and it's harder and harder to find. But even then, that's pushing it. But that's something to keep in mind, is that if something is recognizable and it's cool looking and it looks different, and then it has exclusivity to it, and then it has some form of scarcity to it, or it has some sort of big push to it, and or maybe it doesn't have a big push to it, but it's got some exclusivity where it's got 1,500 of them out there, then yeah, that's gonna obviously have more value. While something like this, just nobody knows what it is, and there's a very selective few people who know what it was, and also they didn't really move that quick. So if there's only 500 of these and they moved quick like hell, but nobody knew what they were, they'd be worth something. But it isn't, and so I think that's something to keep in mind, and I think it's a really good lesson for Pop Funko collecting, that you kind of have to set the parameters of what you're after. If you're just in it for me, so my collection is complicated, where some things are definitely money driven with it, and other things I appreciate and I want it because I thought it was cool and I'm familiar with it and I'm displaying it and I'm looking at it. This was one of those that I was like, oh, I'm displaying this and I'm looking at it and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not interested in the actual value of it. And so that's what it was for me when I purchased it. But when you're money driven, you got to say, hey, what is going to sell? What is going to meet, and what's going to bank, and what's going to move when I want to unload it? If that's what you're after, you're looking for trading it, or you're looking to unload it for some cash, for some quick cash at some point. And so it's a really good lesson, is that what's recognizable, exclusivity, how many are made, how fast are they moving. If you go into the line and you're the fourth person on line, and a bunch of them haven't moved, and let's say Hot Topic got 20, and you're the fourth person online, and everybody before you hasn't bought it, it's either they don't know, or they know and they're not interested in it, and that's something to keep in mind. Perfect example is that I was at New York Comic Con 2018. I was speaking to everybody online, asking what they were getting, and we all were getting relatively the same Pop Funkos. And I was online for GameStop, and the ones that nobody was getting was like this Tiger one and the Flash and Superman double pack. Nobody was interested in those two. Everything else, everybody was interested in, and everybody was happy. Maybe somebody wasn't picking up the Reinhardt because they just didn't want the Reinhardt, which is understandable. But everybody wanted, certain ones, and everybody was happy to get those ones, and that's what everybody was after. And so if everybody wants the same ones, then you're in good company. And so that's something to keep in mind. So I think it's a really good lesson, this one. I love it. I'm not going to lie. But I think it's a really good lesson. And that's my entire viewpoint on it. And this is what I take out of it. It's really not that valuable of a Pop Funko. Not to say that anime ones can't be popular. As you know, I go through this project of the 100, you're going to see that certain anime ones are very, very popular. And then once I go beyond the 100 with ones that I don't have that I'm still seeking out, you'll also understand that some can be very, very popular. So that's very important to understand. So I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression and wrong advice and wrong information that anime can't be a popular genre in Pop Funkos, because it can be. Now, having said all that, I'm going to just quickly plug myself, my Instagram, where all my Pop Funkos, comic books are up. Share them, daily. Got a lot of fun stuff going on with that. All that stuff is on my Instagram at Pop Anime Comics, so definitely follow it there, comment. Got a lot of my New York Comic Con stuff, so that should give you some insights from the 2018 haul. I'm constantly adding new. I'm actually probably going to do a Pop Funko run in the next week or two, get some more Pop Funkos to talk about and add to my collection, because I love collecting this stuff and I love cool ones. Maybe get a cool Halloween one or two, because I think they have a few of them out there. My Twitter is at Pop Anime Comics. I tweet a lot. I love tweeting. A lot of cool stuff's up there from my website, articles I come across, articles I write, podcasts I do. My Facebook page is Pop Anime Comics. I have something very, very cool in the works. It's going to be a Facebook Live, and it's very exciting for me. And there might be a giveaway with that. So definitely like the Facebook page. That's Pop Anime Comics. So I'll link all this stuff down below. YouTube, obviously you're on YouTube watching this, so subscribe. And anything that's Pop Anime Comics that is you like, please follow it, because it's most likely me. And if I owe you money, then it's not me and I don't know you. It's because I'm spending all my money on Pop Funkos. Like this one. Isn't she just so cute? Anyway, everybody, thank you for watching. I hope this video helps you. I hope it gives you some insight information. Really trying to break down price and trying to make sure that you have as much information as you possibly can, so that when you're at a con or shopping, that you don't get burned too badly, or you don't get burned at all. And that's the whole point of this project, is really just so that you don't get burned and you have as much information so you can make as many educated decisions as possible, because you will get burned, but my goal is to minimize how many times you get burned and how badly you do, because I want it to be 0, but that's going to be very hard. So if I can prevent you from getting burned 50% of the time, that is mission accomplished, and then we will reduce that number going forward. And that's what the whole point of this is about. So please feel free to support me by following me on Twitter, checking out my Instagram, commenting, telling me what you like, what Pop Funkos you want me to review, because I have 100 of them right now in my apartment, roughly. So that's something to realize, that I got a lot more to review, and I'm happy to do it, and I love talking about this stuff. And if you have this Pop Funko, please let me know. Say, hey, I got this Pop Funko, and I love it, hate it, or it was a bad call. And please share, because that's the whole point of this, is that everybody's learning from everybody. So if you have a tip, or you have a Pop Funko and you sold this for more than 15 bucks, or you got burned, let people know, because that's the best way how we raise this community and get everybody to make really, really good decisions on what they purchase, why they purchased it, and how they purchased it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next episode.